a fucking sound. And then he takes the crown. Now that's ascension into power by immaculate election, cause no one really wanted it and no one should have trusted it. But don't you try to question it, cause Joe is not a fan of questions. But Joe is a fan of pointing fingers right in people's faces. Or if they're not in public spaces, Joe will try to poke a finger everywhere I won't mention. Joe's soul is molded and beholden more to power than the list of fucking speakers at the DNC convention, who gave us all a show of keeping AOC at bay, just so everyone can say they tried to censor her dissension. But if you still believe the progressives we've elected give a shit if we're protected, there's a bridge I'd like to sell you in a parallel dimension. You know they're just tech savvier with media relations, propagandist Instagram and public obfuscation. Better suited to assure you that they're here to have a conversation. Better suited to assure you they aren't actively supporting your eviction and your slide into starvation. Better suited to assure you they can tweet about your needs and offer hope and motivation while you drift into the weeds. But they partnered with the moccasins and gators and the reeds. You damn sure get a portion of our meat. So, love me or leave me or mislead me to decree. Honey, you won't want to hear it, so I'll try to say it sweet. The squad are not your buddies, they are simply more discreet. The GOP will kill you on your feet. Dems and fake progressives do it in your sleep. Anyone can recognize a nation's needs and put it in a tweet. But coming from a leader in a seat of power really shows they know they're obsolete. GOP will kill you on your feet. Dems and fake progressives do it in your sleep. The squad are not your buddies, they are simply more discreet. You won't want to hear it, so I'll try to say it sweet.
Told to come alone. Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow. Proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone. Try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. Then a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking...
I didn't have to wait for long. I never had to change a song.
perfect time for you to burn the bridge to self-forgiveness. Now's the chance, take a stand, stay your hand before you cast another vote for corporate interest. Another vote that chokes your hopes of owning your own home or opening a business. They love to say their hands were tied, the stars just weren't aligned for them to get their votes in line to see their promises delivered. But they killed it in an instant. Bills don't die by accident, they're all assassinated on behalf of the congressionally kismet. By some lobbyists who see themselves as agents of clandestine fate, not fences in a prison. Dealing in the stolen goods of sleeping slaves and trading on the futures of their children. Betting on a spread of daily dead where every grave's creating profit by the millions. For some fascists lurking in the wings and all of their affiliates. And every Etna demigod our senators conduct their darkest dealings with. It really gets impossible to document or fingerprint, cause it isn't just a pattern of corruption, it's the very fabric making up the structure of the system that we're living in. So dash your hopes and down a margarita goes. You box the shadows, take a little nap, and then you get back in and swing again. But if the margarita made you sick, you probably wouldn't take a drink again. So if you're voting either party, honey, think again. I recommend you steel your nerves and never serve an officer, a president, a despot, or a king again. And mark my words, the day will come where we will rise and sing again. And if voting makes you sick, well, no one's forcing you to drink again. I didn't have to wait for long, I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm, smile when you say I'm wrong. I can't even feign disarm, can't fake while you play the charms. And I don't know the page we're on, but this is where you say you're wrong. This is where you finally admit you weren't ignorant. You boldly voted Joe like an informed and blissful idiot. You chose to blur the parts of Biden you don't find the prettiest. Now you choose uplifting news and filter out the grittiest. But the truth is something coarse enough that even when it's hidden, it's apparent when you feel it on your fingertips. I know it's hard to deal with from a distance, and up close the truth is hideous. But there's just no getting rid of it. You've gotta let it enter it. Just worries at your skin in every moment, loud or intimate. But shake it off, for fuck's sakes. You don't have to celebrate or be so proud of progress by imaginary increments. You don't have to heap such constant praise on fucking villains, like they're stillborn promises or honestly just isolated incidents, and not the product of the principle of privilege. Not intentional eugenics just by any other synonym, covered up with desperate clusterfucks of rosy images, labeled plain by any other name except for what the fucking image is. So once you stare the page down enough, you'll spot the difference. That one is red and one is blue, and that's the only truth, because neither one delivers on that promise of deliverance. One is red and one is blue, and that's the only difference. And the rest are isolated and imaginary incidents. One is red, one is blue, and that's the only difference. I didn't have to wait for long, I never had to change a song. I just sing it like a raised alarm, smile when you say I'm wrong. I can't even feign disarm, can't fake while you play the charms. And I don't know the page we're on, but this is where you say you're wrong.
Hey, okay. And it's time for another American tradition. Oh my God. I love this show so much. I love doing the show. I love watching the show. Already? Dude, has it really? It really flies by, and in some ways, it feels like it's been a year since the last time we've done one.
Very true.
At the same
A
time,
year's worth of bullshit in 14 days.
How do we do that? Like it's pretty, and it's like we're Crab. Shout out to Big Man Crab. All right, I got to show you guys this thumbnail, guys. Are you kidding me? That is just, and he's got the Bong Father sitting there now. The Bong Father, we retired this week, which is okay, and we love him. But holy
he's still
crap,
making it. I mean, the Blues Brothers cover, that's still,
that's legend. And that's on my desktop, and it's going to be for a while.
I am to the point where I don't even say like, hey, here's my idea for the thumbnail. I'm just like, here's the title. I defer to your creative genius, and Crab in like record time just gives us gold. It's ridiculous.
Yes, Oz, they're truck nuts on my avatar. They're truck nuts on the chicken, the rooster. Hilarious. I love that dude.
That's what my wife looked at. She was like, "Are those balls?" I was like, "Of course they're balls.
they're half balls, but roosters have that little thingy underneath.
They're waddle
them.
Ball. The waddle. Yeah, it's waddle ball.
I don't even know what to call them, but I don't.
Balls was taken.
It's a good thing we're on Rockfin and Rumble, because that certainly might get us censored off of YouTube. Who knows, because of the nanny state. We're also on Twitch, and we're everywhere. The only place we're not streaming is on Telegram, because I haven't plugged Telegram in yet to INN, but we do have a Telegram channel now. I hooked up a Telegram channel, basically hook up all of our Twitter accounts, and nobody really knows about it. I'm just kind of testing it out. Oh, I thought you were playing like da 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 da. I thought I was hearing like Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Give me some little background.
Nice. So yeah, we've got some tweets going up from some of the members in this INN Telegram thread, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we're here for American Tradition. We're here to have Jesse play some music, do some new tunes. This is episode 12. I can't believe 12 episodes already. All right, so episode 12. This is Folk Around and Find Out. I love how he comes up with these titles. I'm like, Jesse, what do you want to call it? And he actually had that one a few days ago. So again, in addition to the debut of 2 new works, which we're going to do tonight, Jesse performed some of his favorite folk pieces by artists such as Utah Phillips, Bruce Springsteen, Woody Guthrie, and more. So I'm psyched. This is indie, like you can see. And this is Jesse's show. So, dude, what's up, man?
How you doing? Not much, man. I mean, well, getting over being sick. Had last week, was it Monday night, that all of a sudden I had that little tickle in my throat. I was like, uh-oh. And then Tuesday morning, sure as shit, wake up with a cold. And my wife and I had our first gig in about 2.5 years, Friday night. And I was like, I'm not, like, I don't care. I ended up working a half day Wednesday, and Thursday I just couldn't push through, and worked Friday, had the gig Friday night, and I wasn't feeling 100%, but I managed to like clear my voice out, sound good. We had a hell of a gig, and then my voice was like gone Saturday and Sunday. And it was really touch and go to see this morning whether I woke up like able to sing, and my singing voice sounds better than my speaking voice right now, I promise you. So we are on. I didn't want to cancel, especially the songs tonight. Like I have just started getting into Utah Phillips's discography more than just the handful of songs I was previously familiar with. And I first became aware of him through a podcast called Lyrical that the guy that runs it actually had done an episode where he had had me as a like featured artist and played several of my tracks, and he compared discovering my music to when he discovered Utah Phillips. And like, I knew enough of Utah Phillips to know that was a big fucking compliment, but it made me want to dive more into his music. And I'm at a point where I feel like able to listen to some outside stuff. And I sat down and started going through it, and like, man, it's just phenomenal. And his spoken stuff too, his spoken word, his like sense of humor in some pieces being kind of just the side of stand up. It's exceptional. So I definitely wanted to do a Utah Phillips song tonight. And then the more I looked at what I would put into a folk show, there are a couple songs that are flat out some of my favorite songs of all time that fit better tonight than they would anywhere else. One in particular that I never have a chance to play at like an actual like gig, even when it was an open mic or whatever, or no, I take that back. There was one place that they let me know that it was my last gig. I'd been playing there for several months. They were getting rid of live music. So my last song, I was like, well, I'm going to go out with something that would have gotten me shit canned anyway. And I played it. But other than that, I've never had a chance to. And tonight seems like a good one. So I'm really getting to dig into just some of my all-time favorite songs tonight. So I'm really excited.
I'm curious to hear what kind of a Springsteen folk song you're going to do.
Right?
That'll be interesting. There's got to be some Dylan in there too. Would be my guess. You know, we may have a little bit of clearance. Bob Dylan, maybe a little bit in there.
Yeah, I might have to. I used to do Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. That would be fun to do. Yeah, why not? I think that would bring us to like an even 10 pieces tonight too, and I like that.
Sweet.
Sailor's Delight. I might have to. Yeah. Just to make sure I know those chords well. I brushed up on some covers today. I did not brush up on Sailor's Delight, but it's my song. I should know it, right?
Yes, it
should being the operative word here.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's dive into that Utah Phillips first, because we, at the risk of saying too much, someone that I really loved at my job got let go, and I don't know the whole story, but it's hard to not feel like it might have been a little unceremoniously. And when I got into Utah Phillips and I heard this song, I I couldn't help but think of him. So this was actually the first Utah Phillips song I ever heard, and it totally fits my vibe. So I was happy to. Oh, that was something big that happened. I finally got my own fucking Spotify radio. They need a couple years of getting like listener data on what other people listen to that listen to you. And there was Utah Phillips. There was there was some like bluegrass Americana. There was an Elvis Costello song. It was a really cool, interesting mix of stuff. And then like 7 or 8 of my songs. Of course, it changes. I think every day. But it's taken a couple years for them to, I guess, for people to listen to enough of my stuff for that to happen. But I was really excited when I opened it up and saw a Utah Phillips song in there. It means like I'm doing something right. And monstrous conglomerate that they are, Spotify apparently gets me to some extent. So you know what? I'll doff my hat to them this one time.
Dude, that's awesome. But still, you know, again, hey, listen to, we've got a couple of podcasts on Spotify too. How Do We Miss That is definitely on Spotify. You can search How Do We Miss That, and there's like 4 of them, but you can find ours. I think right now it does already have the new microphone logo. So that's pretty badass. Oh, look at that. I got to move my thing over.
Crap.
Big Mad Crab. There he is, dude. The thumbnail wizard extraordinaire. Holy shit.
All right.
Amazing.
We got a show now. Big Mad Crab's here. We got a show. Let's fire this up.
Do this
so yeah, this is Utah Phillips. Let's drop her down one. All right. Yeah, this is called All Used Up. I spent my whole life making somebody rich. I busted my ass for that son of a bitch, and he left me to die like a dog in a ditch. Told me I'm all used up. He used up my labor, used up my time, plundered my body and squandered my mind, and gave me a pension, a handouts and wine. Told me I'm all used up. Now my kids are in hock to a god you call work, slaving their lives out for some other jerk. And my youngest in Frisco just made shipping clerk. He don't know I'm all used up. They use
use up the oil, use up the trees, use up the air, and they use up the seas. But how about you, friend, and how about me? What's left when we're all used up? Some young people reach out for power and gold, don't have respect for anything old. For pennies they're bought and for promises sold. Someday they'll all be used up. Well, I'll finish my life in this crummy hotel. It's lousy with bugs and my God, what a smell. But my plumbing still works and I'm clear as a bell. Don't tell me I'm all used up. Sometimes in a dream, I sit by a tree. My life is a book of how things used to be. And the kids gather round and they listen to me. They don't think I'm all used up. There's songs and there's laughter, things I can do. And all that I've learned I can give back to you. And I'd give my last breath just to make it come true. And to know I'm not all used up. They use up the oil, use up the trees, use up the air, and they use up the seas. But how about you, friend, and how about me? What's left when we're all used up?
Oh, that's beautiful. It sounds like, is that like an Irish folk song? It sounds like an old Irish folk song.
No, I just capoed the hell of it. It's usually a lot lower. It's usually like, I gave my whole life making somebody rich. Busted my ass for that son of a bitch. It's a little straightforward. Utah Phillips.
Okay,
is,
I kind of do know, like in the Avengers, not the Avengers.
He was labor organizer. So his shit was like lyrics first. There was a really great story he used to tell that as he was getting older, his wife encouraged him to go out and keep performing, but he was self-conscious because his guitar ability was getting shitty. And she was like, no one ever came to hear you play guitar. That's not what your music's about. And so he went out and kept going.
Right. Damn, man. Like
all right,
that
so
one?
let's get into some Springsteen.
Woo, let's do that.
This song, I think it's fair to say more people probably know Rage Against the Machine's version than Bruce Springsteen's anymore, or at least it certainly gets more airplay. But I always loved this song. This is Ghost of Tom Joad.
Man, walk along the railroad tracks, going someplace and there's no going back. Highway patrol chopper coming up over the ridge. Hot soup on a campfire under the bridge. The shelter line stretching around the corner. Welcome to the new world order. Families sleep in their cars out in the Southwest. No job, no home, no peace, no rest. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. Sitting down here in the campfire light, searching for the ghost of old Tom Joad. He pulls a prayer book out of his sleeping bag, preacher lights up a button, he takes a drag. When the last will be first, the first will be last. Cardboard box beneath the underpass. You got a one-way ticket to the promised land. You got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand. Sleeping on a pillow of solid rock. Bathing in the city aqueduct. Oh, the highway's alive tonight. Nobody fool nobody about where it goes. And I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Joad. Tom said, Ma, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, where there's a fight against blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there. There's somebody fighting for a place to stand, a decent job or a helping hand. Wherever somebody's struggling to be free, look in their eyes, Mom, you'll see me. Oh, the highway's alive tonight. Nobody kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Joad.
The ghost of old Tom Joad.
Oh my God, it'd be so great. It's Joad, but the first time I heard it when I was a kid,
Old
I thought
Tom
it was
Jones, right?
It'd be
It's not
so great
unusual to be late, right?
The ghost of Tom Joad.
Oh my God, that's like from that movie Mars Attacks.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh my God, what's new, Pussycat? Yeah, yes, Tom Joad. Yes, that was. Oh man, we got Charlie. Charlie showed up. What's up, Charlie? We got Jade Star's back. Jade Star showed up like an hour early.
Highway is alive tonight.
Jade Star was ready to go.
Nobody about where it goes.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
I'm sitting down here in the campfire light. Sorry.
You got to Vegas that up. Yeah, that's.
We have fun here.
It's not unusual to hit the firelight. Yeah, and that's really bad. The campfire light, right?
Carrie doing what's new, Pussycat?
Oh my God, we were doing Harry Carey last night, and we were giving you homage. Like, dude, we can't even compare.
Hey, what's new, Pussycat?
What's happening over here?
You have to have some mustard because it's Easter.
This guy kills me over here. Oh, we definitely have fun. We need to.
Ooh.
Yep. So you
go there, folks.
Oh boy. Harry Carey doing what's new, Pussycat? Oh great.
Let's see here. So this one I have not done in a hot second, but I love this song to death. I admittedly super music snob, and a general rule of thumb is if like a whole bunch of people are telling me I need to listen to someone, I usually should avoid it. And I did that for a long time with Father John Misty. So much so that when I was at Bonnaroo in 2016, I didn't go see him. I did something else instead. I don't remember what I did. Not watch Father John Misty's set. Maybe 2 or 3 months later, I get into his stuff and was kicking myself for not having gone to see him live. Killer songwriter, exceptional lyricist, and some really great chord progressions too. But this song especially, if he wants to do political and hit you with some facts, he'll do it in such a way that it's like, I don't know, such a slight against a political song. Even it's almost in the same way that Blues Traveler picks apart pop music with the song hook and literally walks you through why you like what you like.
Right.
It's that very same kind of underhanded, this song is basically telling you, like, you know, try not to worry about what's going on, try not to worry about the impact that we're having, but in doing so describes that impact so well that you obviously can't avoid it. And I was really, really taken with that.
That's the kind of stuff that definitely pulls this guy in, I can tell you.
Right? This is called Now I'm Learning to Love the War.
Try not to think so much about the truly staggering amount of oil that it takes to make a record. All the shipping, the vinyl, the cellophane line, and the hot gloss tape and the gears. Try not to become too consumed with what's a criminal volume of all that it takes to paint a portrait. Oh, the acrylic, the varnish, aluminum tubes filled with latex, solvents and dyes. Let's just call this what it is. All the jealous side of mankind's death wish. Babe, when it's my time to go, I'm gonna leave behind things that won't decompose. So try not to dwell so much upon how it won't be so very long. From now, they laugh at us for selling a bunch of 15-year-olds made from dinosaur bones singing, oh yeah, again and again, right up to the end. Let's just call this what it is. The jealous side of mankind's death wish. Oh, and it's my time to go. I'm gonna leave behind things that won't decompose. I just call this what it is. And it ain't going wild in my crisis. Oh, one day this all will repeat. And I sure hope they make something useful
That's great. Oh man, I can just sit back. I'm just like bopping, dude, and checking everything out. I'm popping some chats up there. Hi everybody. Hi everybody out in chat.
Everybody.
What's happening out
Hi,
there?
everybody in the chat.
I think I heard Uncle Warren was out there, so we got to get a kitty going for Uncle Warren. We did make some upgrades, so now we do have a
We're
whole
fucked.
a whole section, and I could free up some space on the board, so it's good. Thanks, Reef. So we've got some more songs. I know you said you got 10 between songs and spoken words. Yeah. Well, then you get the 2 new pieces. So good stuff. Can't wait. Harry Carey to a 2-disc set. Maybe Harry Carey does the spoken word.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That would be hilarious, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Oh, you'd have to work on that one.
Okay, I think we can do Sailor's Delight.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know where this song belongs. Probably on the like just random shit compilation that I'll put like airplane mode on, because it's folky, way more melodic, that I feel like it would stand out like a sore thumb in the middle of some of my other stuff. But this was just a little love song about some people who find themselves in the middle of 2 different climate crises at the same time. And definitely I feel like writing this really primed me for the Susan Sarandon song. Kind of put me in the folk vibe, because I think it was a few weeks later that the Sarandon song happened. So okay, yeah, here we go. Wish me luck. This is called Sailor's Delight.
Red sky at night here, 50 miles from the ocean, and it doesn't really strike me as a sign of good to come. Watch you pour a drink, guess you were going through the motions. We'd seen that color once before and knew what it was from. So I figured, what the hell, I made one for myself, and I motioned you to follow me and went up on the roof. We had faith that it would pass before the last floodwaters fell, but that fire up the hill was coming soon. So we sat together as the hill was getting brighter, and the color from the fire painted all in bloody red. You pulled a joint out, but we didn't have a lighter. You laughed as you leaned into me, and I kissed you on the head. If we survived a century, I would always have remembered how the color from how the fire was reflected off the flood and in your gaze, when that rainbow streak of oil found the faintest fading ember, and the water all around us burst in chorus with the blaze. How many days before we let unprecedented morph into mundane? Before we finally put asbestos blinders up and turn the other way, when half the world is burning and the other half is made to watch and knows it can escape. What's left to do once we've all seen our fate? What's left to do once we've all seen our fate?
Sweet.
shit the bed right in the middle of it, man.
Oh, stop.
Mm-mm.
Charlie Mack.
Turn off the camera and beat myself with my belt for a few minutes. I need to flog everybody. I'm sorry.
Right. So we got Frankie here. Hi, Frankie.
One of my favorite records ever is the Lauryn Hill Unplugged. And there's a moment where she messes up a chord and she goes, ah, it's just the best noise. And then like the audience laughs and then claps for it. It's really sweet. But like, she just has the best, like, ah, kind of noise about it. It's so good.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got to get used to actually like being on camera and turning the damn thing on. That's different for me. Right. Not for everybody else, but at least Jesse's seeing me a little bit.
All right. So next up, this song, a whole shit ton of people have done versions of this song, and some of whom I wasn't aware of. So that when I was doing it regularly in the Keys at some of my gigs, and I'd have people come up and say like, "Hey, good job on that Johnny Cash song." And I'd be like, "Did I do Johnny Cash that set?" Like they go, "Hey, great job on that Willie Nelson. I like that Willie Nelson tune." I'm like, Willie Nelson. But the weirdest one was someone said, "Hey, great job on that Joni Mitchell." I was like, "Fucking excuse me."
Wait, what?
And yeah, it turns out Joni Mitchell did. I mean, got a ton of people have done this song. In fact, it was written by a teacher who was a friend of Woody Guthrie's, and there was a plane that was deporting a bunch of migrant workers. I guess it was fairly common after the season. They would deport them. People would pay to come back and do seasonal work, and then they'd end up getting deported again. Mm-hmm. And one of the planes ended up crashing, and the newspaper had said, something about the pilots, and then just deportees. It didn't say anything about like names of the dead or anything like that. Just like, plane full of deportees. That was the extent of news coverage. And so this guy wrote this piece called Deportee, and or Plane Wreck at Los Gatos, which is what some people call it. And Woody Guthrie put it to music. I'm going to need to bring this up a little bit, or I'm going to sound like Tom Waits. Okay. Yeah, this is called Deportee. The crops are all in and the peaches are rotting. The oranges are piled in their creosote dumps. They're flying them back to that Mexico border to pay all of their money to wait back again. Now my father's own father, he waded that river. They took all of the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters come work in the fruit trees. They rode those trucks till they took down and died. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesus Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big
airplane. And all they will call you will be Deportee. Some are illegal, some are not wanted. Work contracts out and we have to move on. 600 miles to that Mexico border. Chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. Now the sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. Fireball of lightning and it shook all our hills. Who are these friends are scattered like dry leaves? The radio says they are just deportees. Now is this the best way to grow our big orchards? Is this the best way to grow our good fruit? Scattered like dry leaves right on my topsoil. Be known by no name except Deportee. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita. Adios mis amigos, Jesus Maria. Won't have your name when you ride the big airplane. And all they will call you will be hey, Deportee. Hey, Deportee.
Okay, so this is you with the cold. All right, I don't believe you. Yeah, he hacks it out afterwards, but I don't believe you.
It's been accruing this whole time, I promise you.
Oh, he builds it up, and then he just gushes it out after every song. He does this for us, folks. He does this for us. We love him. Thank you, Jesse. He's amazing.
I've been trying to figure out like what was this weird little squeaky sound I was hearing, and it's that like all the wood up under here is splintered, and you can hear this little.
It gives it a grittiness. It gives it a grittiness.
So on some low stuff, like I tend to rest my hand here, and if I do now, it sounds like I'm turning up a little bit of distortion, just a little bit on the bottom end.
It's got some grittiness to it. That's all. Again, acoustic guitar should sound a little rough, a little edgy. So
that was my answer to like reinforcing a little, because my last couple guitars that I've had have gotten worn through there over time between drumming on it on songs and just general humidity changes and shit like that. But
let me tell you,
this one's crunchy.
if and when we ever do get the chance to get you here, there is a Techamini acoustic electric that was purchased for me years and years and years and years ago, actually when I graduated college, that I never really learned to play. It's sitting there. It's practically pristine. Somebody I know took it to California for like a couple of months, but other than that, it's really been played for 20 years. It's in brand new shape. You'd be like, oh my God, this is great. So one of these days, we'll get that going for sure.
See, we're almost through with our music for the evening, folks.
Wow. That was like Sunday night. Like we did stories. I was like, oh my God.
2 more songs and a couple new spoken word pieces. So this song.
Like that?
Oh man. Let me see. I feel bad because I can never remember the name of the guy that did this song. It's one of my favorite. Like, it's one of those songs, like front to back. I'm like, fuck, I wish I'd written that. And I always remember the name of the song, but not the guy, because it just sounds like, I don't know, he'd be like the gaffer in the credits. You know, it wouldn't be a name that you'd see and you'd remember. Let's see, what is this guy's name? Josh Ritter is his name. That's why. Sorry, Josh. Just not a name that sticks with me. Oh, man. All right.
Cousin of Scott Ritter. Grief. I hope not. Yeah, Scott Ritter, all good. Love to Scott Ritter.
So this is maybe this was an inspiration for Sailor's Delight, and I didn't know it. This was a song about two people who work in a nuke silo, in a missile silo, and end up, having to work together, end up falling in love, and then the guy like not wanting to leave. It's just one of the sweetest songs I'd ever heard, and then you throw some World War III in there, and I'm all over it. So it's one of those songs front to back. I fucking wish I'd written this song. This is called The Temptation of Adam.
If this was the Cold War, we could keep each other warm. I sat on the first occasion that I met Marie. We were crawling through the hatch that was the missile silo door, and I really didn't think she thought that much of me. I never had to learn to love her like I learned to love the bomb. She just came along and started to ignore me. But as we waited for the big one, I started singing her my songs, and I think she started feeling something for me. We passed the time with crosswords that she thought to bring inside. What 5 letters spelled apocalypse, she asked me. And I won her over singing WWII. Oh, she smiled and we both knew that she'd misjudged me. Oh, Marie, it was so easy to fall in love with you. It felt almost like a home of sorts or something, where you would keep the warhead missile silo good as new, and I'd watch you with my thumb above the button. Then one night you found me in my army issue card, and you told me of your flash of inspiration. You said fusion was the broken heart, and that's lonely's only thought. And all night long you drove me wild with your equations. Oh, Marie, do you remember all the time we used to take? We'd make our love and then ransack the rations. And I think about you leaving now, and the avalanche cascades, and my eyes get washed away in chain reaction. Oh, Marie, if you would stay, then we could stick pins in the map. all the places where you thought that love could be found. But I would only need one pin to show where my love's at. In a top secret location, 300 feet under the ground. Oh, we could hold each other close. We could stay up every night, looking up into the dark like it's the night sky, and pretend this giant missile is an old oak tree instead, and carve our names in hearts into the war. And oh, Marie, this something tells me things just won't work out above, that our love would live a half-life on the surface. So at night while you were sleeping, I hold you closer just because. As time grows close, I get a little nervous. So I think about the big one, WWII. Would we ever really care? The world had ended. You could hold me here forever, like you're holding me tonight. I think about that great big button, and I'm tempted.
Man,
World War III songs. I love it.
right?
Uplifting. Let's go.
Right?
Meteor 2024, right? Giant Meteor 2024. Isn't that what we're rooting for these days?
It made me feel pretty good. I was looking at some of these songs. I'm like, boy, there's some really downer tunes tonight. And I'm like, but it's also the least amount of originals I've ever done in an evening. So maybe my shit isn't as depressing as I thought it was.
Right? At least you got good company. That's right? Definitely what I would say for sure.
So this song, this brings us to the last song, and then I'll fire off some spoken word. Especially where I grew up in Panama City, Northwest Florida. You couldn't really even say like, "Hey, this next song is called Goddamned," and not raise some eyebrows. But then the song itself, it's a fucking powerhouse. And even the most like forward thinking coffee shop or whatever that I ever played or open mic, I never felt like I wasn't gonna piss someone off with this one.
I love it.
But this is the time to do it. There's another one of those songs. I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I'd written this song. This was such a great picking apart of religion, and especially comparing it to like Greek mythology and other things that, like, you know, no one's rallying around these legends or these stories or these things that people, you know, supposedly lived and did. The kind of myopic lens that people view religion through. And there are some killer lines in this song that I like always wanted to play out, but I always just felt like, this is just throwing a big stink bomb down on a stage. But in my own basement, you're safe to do stink bombs. So this guy, and you know, I've never listened to another song this guy wrote because the bar is so high, and like I'd rather him just live as this like songwriting god in my head and not have this end up being like a fluke. The guy's name is Jay Brannon. This song is called Goddamned. Okay.
I'm marching to Zion, a camera in my hand, and I hear people crying, dying for this bloodstained land. And the streets of old Jerusalem are lined with souvenirs and those buying them. sounds cold, but I cannot see how this theme park is shaped history. 'Cause virgins don't have babies, and water, it isn't wine. And there's a Holy Spirit, maybe, but she would never enter a room with walls built by mankind. Mary and Muhammad are screaming through the clouds for you to lay your goddamn arms down. Rip your bigot roots up from the earth and salt the goddamn ground. You stand in line patiently to supercharge your rosary, or stuff your prayers inside this wall. We once had God trapped in this great hall, and we've been cast out from this place. They say a prophet floated from here to outer space. Am I crazy, or maybe it's me, but this all sounds like mythology. 'Cause virgins don't have babies, and water, it isn't wine. And there's a Holy Spirit, maybe, oh, but she would never enter a room with walls built by mankind. Mary and Muhammad are screaming through the clouds for you to lay your goddamn arms down. Rip your bigot roots up from the earth and salt the goddamn ground. Now Zeus was afraid of his girlfriend, so he swallowed her in bed. Then he bore forth Athena when they cracked open his head. Her brother tried to rape her, Athena got away, and when his seed hit the ground, the grass gave birth that day. Now we'll all freely admit that story's clearly bullshit. No one would lay down their life or start a war for it. So throw your stones and pray you'll be rewarded someday. I hope it all goes your way, but something tells me no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. Save yourselves from turning earth into hell. Mary and Muhammad are screaming through the clouds for you to lay your goddamned arms down. Rip your bigot roots up from the earth and salt the goddamned ground. Fuck, I love that song so much.
Oh, that's so sweet, man. Love it.
But yeah, that was one of those. I was like, oh man, where am I ever going to get to play that song? Like I learned, I would always play that at home. That was always just for Jesse. But oh man, fuck, I love that song so much. It's also a chord progression that's great for just killing your hand. You get in a bar chord and then you just move it and you don't get to like change. And I'm also probably dehydrated, but man, my hands just like lock up into a claw after that song, which is why I saved it for last. So while I'm doing the next couple spoken word things, I will be over here just like pounding on my other hand. I'm not pulling a tube in, so to speak. I'm just trying to
yeah, okay. Listen to the excuses pile up. That's all right. We can turn off Jess's camera. We have to.
read my own spoken word and jerk.
Oh my goodness. Hey, the words are all that matters, right? Bad Mom and we got Gamer here, Kathy. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. We're back.
Hi everybody.
We're back and of course everybody has to wonder,
who are these people?
Well, they're our family, everybody, and this is American tradition. We love this show. Hi everybody. It's INN, Indie News Network. Go check out indienews.network. We are 23 creators, big family, kick-ass people. We're going to be doing Friday night. I wanted to mention the other night I introduced a new thing called the Indie Media Awards, and I'm really excited about that. That's going to be on Friday night. We're going to do a show that introduces them and send each one of these people that a nice little trophy or whatever, in appreciation. It's just to give them some recognition. You know, look, we cover these people every day, and they really go unrecognized way too much. So
yeah, for sure.
Somebody's got to do it. I figure it might as well be us, right? You know,
might as well. Hi.
All right, Kitty. Well.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta hit you up with the kitty. All right, so I am queued up here. Are we doing? Which one are we doing first?
Let's do Buying the Theft.
Good, because that's the one I got queued up first. That's good.
Both
flow.
of these will end up being songs on Everyone Who Disagrees with You is an Extremist.
Ooh. Can't wait.
And in fact, one of them I almost went ahead and did acoustic tonight, but I made the mistake with, well, not a mistake with Powerless, but something I learned with Powerless was if I play a song acoustic for the first time, it starts to just take shape in my head as an acoustic song, and all my ideas for it as like a full-fledged banger start to fade off into the sunset. And I didn't want that to happen with this one because I'm carefully crafting this next record to still have the same lyrical content, obviously, but I want some bangers. I've made some really funky, weird little bass lines and just some really fun stuff that I'm excited to put out. So,
well, yeah, you need spoken word pieces and lyrical music pieces. So,
I mean, I'll do the co-op will be 10 spoken word pieces. They're all written. Basically, as soon as I don't sound congested, I'm going to start recording. So,
all right, let's switch over to presenter mode so you can do the spoken word. This is Buying the Theft. I'll flip over. We're sharing our screen now. Yay! I love it. It works.
All right. Here we go.
I don't want to explore.
You good? I'm ready when you are.
I am ready.
All right. Land of the free, and you'll know us by the trail of dead. Just one more world war to complete the set. Live by the pike, die by the pith, die wide-eyed, still pleading the fifth or divine epithets in pathetic attempts at defense. All empathetic for those on your side of the fence. I'll gladly put you and your legacy into an alternate tense, faltering senses and altered events. Hun, it ain't a hearse, it's a reaper stretch. How sweet, she said. Bunch of hordes in the street like it's Evil Dead, where the thin blue line meets razor's edge, where the corporate ladder ascends to a steel-toed boot that awaits on the ledge. You'll be licking it fresh at your boss's request till it stomps each finger and watches you fall to your death and drown in an ocean of debt. Gone with the fodder, gathered to honor the patient left, who purity tested themselves into sections, step by step, till the next election when it's just one them and the sound of their well-read theorized breath. Harm reduction for the lowly cost of you holding your nose and just openly buying the theft. Roll credits.
Maybe it's all in the flick of the pen. Maybe we're all one unmarked van from a trip to the pen, guarded by pigs who exist on a diet of dying breaths from much worthier men. Honey, heaven's expecting you. Just don't get too hung up on who they let in. Just look at the shine of the pearly gates. You don't need to worry if there's lead in the paint. You don't need to worry if there's lead in the water, lead in the milk, lead in the honey, lead in the caustic embrace of the Heavenly Father. Lead is the flavor of passive perpetual slaughter. Lead is the taste of us led to the ledge by the lure of the legend of expert consensus, then beckon to stretch it just one step farther. I hope that the folks who were boastfully gloating and toasting themselves as the heroes of COVID for boosting their boosters and doing their part are now equally thrilled to be martyrs, starstruck, laid in a government grave with anonymous markers. Back from the carvers and off to the splicer. The very first wave to be slain in the 100 years war against Pfizer. They are thinning the crowd that is striking right now to bleed adequate pay from the inhuman misers who sit in their office and designate coffins to people regarded as nothing but prophets for Kaiser. Yet the Dems want you nicer. Dems want you softer. Dems want you kinder. The Dems want you graciously starving in silence. You speak when you're spoken to. Rest of the time, you and all of us peasants are merely depressing statistics neglected in Congress's binders. Bled, bone dry, then fed to the grinder. Headstones line each step as reminders. A lesson in object permanence learned in the furnace by workers consigned to the fire. Bled, bone dry, then fed by the fed to the grinder. That's Buying the Theft. Now imagine that, but it makes you want to dance. Right? That's the next album.
And who's buying that theft? Exactly.
We are.
All of us.
Everyone.
Holy shit. Yes, Cynic, that's right. Holy shit. Badass
Yeah,
Charlie. How are there only like 11 people? Come on. Where is everybody? Is there like something else going on tonight that we're not aware of? That normally there's a lot more people checking this thing out. Like what's going on? Oh, we got Uncle Warren. Really? Did we see Warren in the chat? Warren
historically,
somewhere.
folk music is minimalistic crowds, so.
Yeah, folk music does tend to thin them out.
If we're over like 25 and we're playing folk music, it's feds.
You offer folk music and it's like beatniks and like dudes in beanies. So you'll see a few of those and feds, yes, in dark sunglasses. For sure.
Okay. So this one, this might be the newest. Both of these were within a couple of days of each other last week, but this is again, these are lyrics for what will be a full-fledged song, chorus and all, on the next record. This is Depop Culture. Whenever you're ready, Indy.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm just making this a little bigger for everybody. Okie doke. Get that out of there, and F11 for full screening. And let's go. How's that? Hey, Depop Culture. All right, so let's actually slide this over. And let's move the cursor up there. Cool. We're ready.
All right. Fresh off the mass is the brand new cancerous growth. Come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps and to mourn at the shore for the bodies that float by the wreck of an immigrant boat. Then it's back to their luxury home, couple security booths and a moat. Couple cigars, little escargot, little booze and a soak. Breathe in the steam and the smoke. Pink salt, lavender, candles are low. When you do what you do, gotta lighten the load. Got a life of his own. It's a sight to behold. It's a lot to control. To decipher the code or to siphon the soul. See, the cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain, no matter the toll. Worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal. That swallows us whole. Ripe for the picking if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone. Maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. Now, I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision, a natural fission of rage at the system, an abject heartbreak patiently waiting for any who will listen. That little blue bird who is watching your words is a federal carrier pigeon, a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. Oh, you got nothing to hide? Well, they'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your texts, after they raid your apartment, confiscate all of its contents, and conjure up evidence out of the air on a wing and a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. Any presumption of innocence gone right along with our comforts and constants. Now, historically, first they will come for the communists. So why in the fuck do I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence holding us hostage and vomiting promises. It might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She is wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. If you can get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. Part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. It's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the sleight of the providence. Till home is as wide as your cubicle height, and it's only as deep as your coffin is. Maybe I'm miles away from impatience and aching to break off the head of the snake where its capital lust and its reptile brain and its margin of profit is. Now off with his swish, drop of the guillotine, clean chop, pop goes the artery, arc across the treetops. Higher than the budget funding army gear for street cops. Workers of the world, hitchery stops. That's Depop Culture.
Woo! I know we have a friend in out there on Twitter named Elizabeth, and that's Anita Guillotine. So for sure, she would definitely be enjoying that one. Okay, everybody's talking about what flavor they're hitting right now. So we've got Jade Star is 21% mellow, pretty mellow. Dingo is here. Now we've got Gamer and Ganja for life, and Finnegan, yeah, Booyah, and I know reached out there. They're working on Ina News for tomorrow night.
Nice.
Yeah, man. This has been awesome. So we're all out of stuff unless you want to
we're all spent out.
bust something out, but yeah. So then 2 weeks from now, wow, we're gonna be like, it's like our pre-Halloween episode. So are you gonna be like dressed in costume and shit? No, it'll be like 10 days early.
I got a robe. I could make a cool little thorn crown and be Jesus. That'd be fun.
Oh my god.
I used to be friends with a really, really phenomenal band called The Dreamer's Disease, and it was back when I had long hair previously, and right when I cut it, I get a call from them like the next day. They're like, "Hey, we got this big gig coming up, and we were wondering if you would dress as Jesus and be in the crowd, and then come up and do I Only Want to Say from Jesus Christ Superstar, Gethsemane, however you say that fucking song." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I would love to. It's a beast of a song. Only thing is, I cut my hair. Can I wear a wig?" He was like, "Oh, no, man. We just kind of imagine you being able to, like, headbang and stuff. Sorry." And then he hangs up. I'm like, that was the biggest, coolest, fucking weirdest thing I could have done. And I just missed it.
Oh my god.
The one that got away.
Dingo made it over to the Rock fam. Okay, Dingo. The only thing, Dingo, is that we started at 10 o'clock an hour and 10 minutes ago, so you're gonna have to go back on the Rockfin and check it out, because it was a rocking good time. It wasn't so folksy. It was a little folksy, but still, I was head nodding most of the night. And then these two spoken word pieces that I can't wait to see be songs. And we got a little sneak preview earlier in American tradition. We got a sneak preview of some of the grift that's spoken word prior to it being recorded as song. And I think that's going to kind of end up being like, little nugget in the archive type of stuff where people don't even necessarily, and it's like hidden stuff, but the unpublished but although that was
Yeah,
published, like it's a rare track type of deal. It didn't
I
make
liked
it
it.
onto the
It's
album.
fun to have a little I don't know, I don't have enough time with working 40 plus hours every week and a 5-year-old to make like Patreon worthy content for people. So I figured that was kind of the idea of this, was getting to have something where if the people that want it can come hang out and hear, covers or alternate versions of things, as well as stuff that's in development. As soon as it's done enough, not to say there might not be some extra lyrics tacked onto the end of some of these pieces that you hear, but they're, formed enough that 95% complete. I'm like, let's play it. Why not? Let's read it. So,
I'm
and
down,
again,
man.
I'm absurdly uh for all of you that come hang out and give me, an audience to do that with, because it's just it means so much.
Again, man, we need that kind of brain bleach. We need the arts, and we need the stimulation, and again, like all week long and all 2 weeks long, I'm listening. I got the Spotify playlist, actually the Bandcamp playlist now. So jessejett.bandcamp.com. Go and support your artists. Tip your waiters. They play for you, and for sure. Also, so free Julian Assange. I know I don't get paid by the time I say that, but I certainly have a verbal tick, and I have to say that every whatever X number of
Yeah.
minutes. But
The speakers for the Assange event are just ridiculous. I'm crushed that I didn't get to go to this, because Misty asked me, and I was like, I knew we were waiting to get the hospital bill for Fox's stay, and I knew it was going to be brutal. And I was like, I really, like, if it's not bad, then maybe I can swing it, but like it was fucking bad. So I was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
yeah, that's like PCU. I knew it would be bad. I did not know it would be
Yep.
this bad. Like, yeah. Um.
Yeah.
I feel that. But yeah, Saturday there is an action. It's going to be streamed actually on INN. I believe we're going to co-stream it. We're going to stream it on Indie Left.
Nice.
Roar Media is going to be streaming it. Action for Assange
Awesome.
is going to be streaming it. Consortium News is going to be streaming it. Randy Credico is going to be doing interviews on the fly. Randy Credico live on the fly. Excited for that. An incredible lineup of speakers like Jesse was talking about. We were hyping it last night or the other night on How Did We Miss That? I put out clips already on Rockfin. They're all up on Rockfin. If you're a premium member, you can get the 3 other clips beyond the launch of the Indie Media Awards. So Friday night at 10 o'clock, just before Reefer After Dark. Now, so the lineup for INN for the rest of this week is pretty badass. Tomorrow night we've got we've got INN News with Colin and Reef. Colin's going to be doing a story, and he's going to be raging about Corey Bush. And then Thursday night, I think we're taking the night off. But then Friday night, we've got the Indie Media Awards release for all the list of the honorees, as well as the as Reefer After Dark. So it's been off for a couple of weeks. I'm excited to see Reef come back.
Nice.
Sunday night, we've got another How Did We Miss That? I think Saturday we may be co-streaming Roar, but Saturday during the day we're going to co-stream the Assange event. Also Saturday morning, before the Assange event starts, I have Tara's channel scheduled to publish 3 or 4 different clips of her talking with truth tellers and honorees, and as well as people in Donbass and over in Russia about censorship and about Julian Assange specifically. So I believe there might be a Fiorella clip about Assange. I think there might be a Bradley Blankenship. There's 3 or 4. So look out for Tara Reid's channel as well on Saturday morning. Awesome. Shout out to Misty for all the organizing, all the effort that she's putting in every day, tweeting, trying to get people to just raise more awareness and spread the word. The more people that show up and shout his name and scream that this is such an injustice. I mean, I'm hoping it's going to have the effect that we hope it does. So that's all I can do.
I've never done my Assange piece on the show, and while we're talking about it, and we've got a dozen people hanging out with us on YouTube. Let's
Nice.
do it.
You're gonna do a Julian piece? Oh, I'm
This
down with
piece,
that.
this is really what first brought me and Misty together and started our friendship was I'd seen her stuff and her talking about Julian, and obviously I was familiar with his plight, but not enough. And the more I heard, I was like, I need to do a piece for this. And when I was writing it, it hit me that I didn't have to stay on Julian, because anything I went to, you can connect back to him, because our ability to dissent, our ability to get any kind of news source that isn't just State Department narrative and propaganda. It hinges on free press, and this was this was what came out of this. This is Conviction, Winter in Belmarsh. If you thought you saw your freedom, it was truly a mirage. Freedom's locked a cell away from Julian Assange. Our First Amendment rights are by his side behind bars, and the next voices silenced will be ours. Rest assured, democracy is rotting in the dark. Rest assured, we vilified dissenters, pushed out black renters, and tore down their housing just to build a little urban park. God, I tell you, old America really knows how to leave its mark, how to blaze a trail and leave 100 scars. Rip your free speech out your throat, demonize the man who told you it was so, and leave him freezing in a cell in Belmarsh, perpetually awaiting extradition, thrown to the wolves of claustrophobia and malnutrition. And all that we could hope is that we catch Uncle Joe in a fleeting, lucid moment of his flickering, senile fascist mission. That maybe we could trick him into thinking Julian is just some sweet blonde middle school Christian, and she got mixed up with a few bad apples, slapped with some charges, and thrown into prison. Joe would set him free without a moment's hesitation under one condition: that he could sniff her hair before she goes back to school and he goes back to business. But if Joe's just had his shots, then we haven't got a chance of getting past his black and white vision, getting past his gut reaction to appease all of his donors' sick requests and shape policy and law around corporate mandated decisions. So really, all along, I think Julian was one man standing in a tempest with the fearlessness of true conviction. And if his is the only conviction we see after he shed a light on this country's most poisonous schemes all come to fruition, and we all collectively stare at the ground because we felt like our hands were too tied beyond signing petitions, while he's tortured to death for attempting to warn and enlighten admittedly not quite the brightest of citizens, and half of this country just won't take the time to uncover the truth, or they just don't mind, so they're quick to dismiss it and say it's a difficult position. Well, then we're back to the comfort of centrist delusion, right back to sleep for the ignorant sheep who resisted themselves into one protracted contusion, twisting themselves into knots to correct all your stimulus check-based confusion, wrapping their necks round their backs as they justify overflow migrant detention or fracking pollution. Then Kamala laughs, and the camera pans down to her shoes. And that footage is 90% of your 6 o'clock news, except for a feel-good story about a man who at 95 years young just made Employee of the Month at Whole Foods. And the $50 gift card means this month he'll afford his prescriptions and meals, and he won't have to choose. This is the machine that a man named Julian Assange threw his body on the gears of for you. So to cry out for his freedom is the least that we can do. Now, best believe the feds will serve to muddy up the truth. But rest assured, the temperature in Belmarsh is an icy 22, and Julian is shivering in a solitary room without a view. Rest assured, Obama loves a whistleblower just about as much as he loves weddings where he doesn't get to detonate the groom. Rest assured, Obama bought the plot where all our First Amendment rights are gonna rot and demanded that they carve his smiling likeness on the tomb. So that when you come to pay respect to your free speech rights and a somber feeling hits you and you look up to the sky, the answer will be staring you right in the eye to the questions of why and of who.
So if you thought you saw your freedom, then they wanted you to. Human rights are mutable, and Julian is proof. Our First Amendment rights are stuck in solitary too. And the next voice silent might be you. And that's how you end an episode. Still, maybe the most exhilarating moment I've ever had performing or anything was doing that at the first year of M4A in Columbus outside the State House. It was my first time with a megaphone, and cranked that up and had everyone sitting on the steps of the State House and did that piece. And it was just that like kind of eureka moment that, like, I'd always performed music and played for people, but I had never done this stuff in front of a crowd before. And it was just the most amazing feeling. So I'm very glad I brought my Rick shitty little cassette player and took the cassette recordings I did of that whole set. Because one of them is up on YouTube of my cassette recording of that piece through the megaphone. But it's got some character to it. So
that's so badass. It really is. That's Winter in Belmarsh. Is it the coming of spring? Is that?
Yeah, that's coming of spring. Yep.
Hold on. Okay, so I have one more slide I want to put up before we go. This is a list of the speakers again. That was some of them. Yeah. I think this is a more complete list. Mm-hmm. Okay. Esther Iverem, and then just today there were two more announced. I mean, like, they keep adding more people. I think Scott Horton might even be coming. I think they announced.
Yeah, she announced him the other day.
Right, and Spike
Garland Nixon. I was lucky enough to get to hang out with Garland at the CPI event in Chicago, and share some fries with him. Fun fact: he's a malt vinegar on his fries kind of guy.
Really?
So was my wife, and I was like, "That's why I knew there was something I liked about you, man," and that's what it was.
Okay.
But no, there was something he said that I try to carry with me as a mantra, and it might also explain why I'm a little less active on Twitter since then. But someone said something about Twitter, and just so deadpan. And he's obviously he's active on Twitter, but he goes, "None of that shit's real life. That isn't real life. Just don't. It's not real life." And, like, obviously we know it is, but there's a point where you really need to have that in the back of your head, because, like, there are times where the negative shit that happens on Twitter, you do need to be able to realize, like, I'm never going to have to see this person and have this conversation. Like, I can just step away and I don't have to involve myself. And, like, being a little bit more of a spectator on Twitter, I see some responses and then I open up and I'll look at a thread of 2 or 3 people going back and forth for like 3 days on something, and they don't really get anywhere. And I'm just like, none of this shit's real life. And it just feels so good. Like, he really
just want to be mad. That's what it is. They just want to be mad.
Some soul shit on that. So
Warren says Jason Burmis going too. That's right. I did hear Jason Burmis.
Nice.
Spike Jones, who was the Libertarian Party VP nominee in 2020. He will be attending. I heard Misty say she did a live stream today with some updates, and it was like we were having a conversation in there. She's the sweetest. I love her. She's going hard, and she's got a lot on her plate and a lot on her mind, and she's powering through, and we're doing all we can to support her. Please, if you can, share this. Shout out to Big Bad Crab, by the way, for making all the not all the artwork, but for this artwork, for the last poster that we had before this. And then also Joe made an awesome video that we went through last night or the other night on How Do We Miss That. So definitely you're going to have to watch the live stream, but I did queue it up and it's chaptered. So you can click right to Joe's video. I fumbled with it for like a minute and a half. And first I had the audio right. I didn't have the video. Then I had the video up without the audio. And I was like, oh, it was a butchered mess. And then we finally got it all right. And but he just is incredible. STFU Shitlib2 on Twitter. I think everybody here knows him, loves him. That's our family. Again, follow everybody on INN, Indie News Network.
Colin popping in last minute.
Hi, Colin in the chat, everybody. So
Hi, everybody.
He's working on
Corey
INN News. He must have cut for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was really excited to see the book coming out because you know I ended up writing Love Your Prison when she'd announced, you know, she'd had the book deal. It was like right after the Capitol event, like the next day or something, that she'd made the announcement that she'd like, I've signed a book deal. And so that was obviously the 6-figure, you know, book deal she chooses line. So that's just been kind of waiting to bloom into reality. And here we were today. I see the video of her opening the boxes, and I was like,
oh, yeah. We actually opened tonight's show in the pre-credits music with hashtag squad goal. So, love that song. I like that one. The Oil Baron Rescue Plan has been going on in my head lately. I don't want to put that over your face, sorry. But Oil Baron Rescue Plan has been going in my head. I didn't have to wait for long. And yeah, so guys, check out the Grift. Download the Grift. Support your artist, man. Listen to these songs. It's on Spotify, even if you have to listen on Spotify. Okay, make a playlist and share it. If you're doing that, put a playlist together of your favorite Jesse Jett songs and share it with everybody you know, and get people downloading those things. Those playlists actually do help, supposedly. So, you know,
they do. There's a Jesse Jett Radio on Spotify now too, and that apparently makes them value me more as a person.
well, we value you plenty. We also had At Home with the Kissingers, and I think we made it through Etna Demigod.
Yeah.
Tonight, and then we went live. So
baseline, man.
Boom, 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 boom. And then I've got the next is still running right now, but Supersize, Lord of the Flies, Echosphere, Powerless, Read Between the Lines. So many amazing songs, guys. Great Experiment. And then we had Red Pilled Above. Oil. This is what's in our playlist right now. This is like our pre-show playlist. It's just
me and
power nonstop. So Sunday night, I did Shepherd of Hope. I played Shepherd of Hopes in homage to Lucy, because Lucy did a stream, and I think Willie Bragg even did a stream. Everybody's starting to talk about Bernie 2024, and I'm like, didn't we deal with this shit 6 months ago? Right? Here, remember this? Lucy, you asked Jesse to write a song. He did it in 24 hours. I recorded it. We did it on INN News in April, and boom, here it is. And I freaking love it. Love the story behind that song, behind the spoken word piece. And again, it made it onto the Grift.
Oh, okay. I came home a little bit later than usual today from work, and my wife is holding this flyer. She goes, "Oh man, you missed it." She goes, college student came by, political science student, asking if we're going to be voting Democrat, with a list of like the flyers and all the like Democrat promises of like, you know, supporting your rights to vote and your right to choose and dirk and dirk and dirk. And I'm like, oh God, I would have just like, my whole day of fuckery would have just channeled into this like howitzer of political retribution. And just let this poor student have it with both barrels. Like,
have you ever heard of Jesse Jett?
You're working for.
Let me play you something on Spotify. Put your arm around him. Take him inside. You thirsty? Because it's going to take a little while.
Yeah, right. we're gonna get you a sandwich. Here's a chair. Like,
you got signs, and Reef's going, my wife. Yeah, Borat all of a sudden made an appearance. But yeah, hands off Assange rally, tweeting with the hashtag hands off Assange. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Instagram also. Misty was pleading for people today to share it all across social media. If you're on TikTok, do little videos explaining why Julian Assange is actually in prison. That it's not because of the 2016 election. It's not because of Hillary Clinton. Yep. It's not because of any of this nonsense. And it's because
Russia. It's fucking Russia.
Right. It's not because he's a Russian puppet. Oh crap. Oh boy. Yeah, no war with Russia, by the way. No war with Russia, no proxy war. Let's get out of this stuff. Let's stop funding it, stop sending hundreds of billions of dollars away, and let's fund Jackson, Mississippi, and let's fund recovering Florida, and let's fund unionizing Amazon and supporting the workers so that they can independently organize. We got a lot of things we got to focus on here, and Jesse's music is helping ground us and lead us there. So, man, it's we're world building, as you said. As you say, that was literally Jimmy put that in, my little theme song. We did a 1 minute cut with everybody saying indie and whatever, and you're like, we're world building here, indie. It's like great. Yep, that's what we're doing. One subscriber, one spoken word piece, one song at a time. So yeah, watch INN News tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Reef would put up the timer now because I'm going to go back into pitch mode. 10 o'clock on Friday night, we've got the Indie Media Awards. Go to indiemediaawards.com, countdown. You'll be able to see all the honorees and bios, pics, links to everybody that's going to be, everybody's going to be a winner. There are no losers. We're just going to shout out all the best of the best of the best that appear in independent left news, like most often every day for 2 years plus. So excited about that. Reefer After Dark Friday night. And then, how do we miss that? Sunday night. We'll be back here in 2 weeks again. Tara Reid's got some pretty cool streams too. So check out Tara Reid. Like I said, subscribe to Tara Reid's channel if you're not already. And turn on those bells because YouTube has been suppressing the hell out of videos. Sign up on Rockfin, rockfin.com/INN. Rumble.com/C/Indie News Network, INDIE. IndieNewsNetwork.com, and that's what Reef likes to say. Just say the one link. Say the one link. Okay, IndieNewsNetwork.com. Actually, no, it's IndieNews.network. What am I doing? Wow, I blew the line. Okay, it's IndieNews.network. INDIE News.network. It's actually down there on the thing somewhere.
That's IndieNet.news.
Okay, actually, the Instagram is also the website. IndieNews.network. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. I got clips going up to all. I try to get clips going up to all of them. Joe's clips, Jesse clips, whatever we can get. Oh, I'm spent. I'm spent, everybody. All right. So I will see everybody in 2 weeks. I'm gonna say to keep questioning everyone's motivations, and I will see you guys Friday night. I'll let Jesse take you out.
Bye, everybody. Yeah, love you guys.